Hello, it's another night. Oh, that's some string. Welcome to Night Talks. Night Talks. It's me, Ari. I've turned my microphone down so it's a little bit quieter because I'm booming on my microphone all night. What have I done today? So I was very nice to my mother today, not to brag or anything, and not to show off or anything, but just stating, my mother is not feeling well still. She has this cyclospora virus, cyclosporiasis. So she's trying to take medicine to feel better, and I said, you need to go to the doctor and get back done. And she said, well, maybe I'll just try the GERD diet and see if that helps. And I said, Mom, it's not going to help. You need to go to the doctor and I said, it's going to happen, keep happening for the next couple months unless you go to the doctor and take care of it. And I said, this could kill you if you don't take care of it because you're old. And she says, I think I'm fine. I said, Mom, you need to go to the doctor. And she said, oh no, I'll be okay. I'll be okay. I said, Mom, you're going to keep pooping yourself. And she said, no, it'll be okay. So I went to the store and I got her some, and she's like, oh, can I give you money so you can get me stuff? And I said, Mom, I have money. I can get you stuff at the store. I can run errands for you. So I got her some Imodium. And I got her some more Pedialyte, which it's good that she's hydrating. And I got her some flowers because I wanted her to feel better. So I got her some flowers to kind of brighten her day up. And she was like, you got me flowers? And I said, yes. And she says, could you put them in a vase for me? I said, yes. And I was like, but because she feels so bad. She thinks that everybody hates her. She thinks that nobody likes her and that everybody thinks that she's like this narcissist, which, to be fair, I have called her a narcissist in the past, and I have said some really mean things about her. I have been very cruel to my mother, and it's made my mother feel really bad. And the thing about it is I haven't allowed for my mother to grow as a person. And the thing about it is I love my mother, and that my mother is trying. And that she is, it's not just all cut and dry as far as it goes. That my mother has good days and bad days like anyone. And that, I have not given my mother grace in the past. And that I was very hard-nosed about my mother. And a lot of it had to do with my distrust of my mother, because of my mental illness. I was very angry at my mother after my first episode, into my subsequent episodes, because she institutionalized me. And so I blamed her for a lot of things. But I had to come to terms with that. So I worked on it. It took some time. It wasn't easy. So, I don't know. But so after lots of therapy and coping skills that I have learned to cope with, because I go to therapy to deal with people who do not go to therapy. And that is the only reason why I go to therapy, is to cope with people who do not want to go to therapy or learn coping skills of their own. I have learned to navigate the relationships of people around me. And so sometimes it means that my mother, when she is feeling low, is going to lash out at me. And so part of that lashing out is that she wants to feel seen and heard. And that part of the reason why I think that she's a narcissist is because she is feeling like she needs to be seen and heard. And that's part of her trauma as a mother, is that she feels as though she's not getting the attention that she thinks she needs or deserves. So, and that's why people get mad at her, is because they think that she is lacking in attention, and she's trying to draw that attention back to herself in ways that are sometimes toxic, and that she is drawing attention away from other people at inappropriate times. And so people get upset at her about that. So what I'm trying to do is, when she is deserved of attention at times when it is appropriate, I give her the attention that she needs and deserves. And so I'm trying to show her that when it is appropriate for her to have the attention she needs and deserves, and showing her when it's appropriate and inappropriate to have the spotlight on her. But I'm working on it. I'm trying to set healthy boundaries with her. It's difficult. But, so I do things like I get her flowers, and I do things like I take care of her when she's sick, because that's a healthy boundary of, she is sick, she is deserving of attention, she needs that attention because she is not feeling well, and that's when she deserves the attention that she needs and deserves. That's a healthy boundary. So giving her the deserved attention that she is desiring will help it, so that she maybe doesn't feel it necessary to lash out when at inappropriate times. So kind of giving her what she needs now. But we'll see how it goes. This is a woman who has spent a lifetime of not necessarily having the healthiest boundaries, because she's been around people who also don't have the healthiest boundaries. And so it's created a culture where she doesn't understand necessarily where boundaries are supposed to lie. And so I've grown up in a culture where I've done a lot of people pleasing and not knowing where boundaries are supposed to lie either. And so I have had to work on that too, of when to set boundaries and when to say no to people, and when to walk away from situations that no longer serve me, and trying to be less of a people pleaser. It's been very difficult, because I will, in awkward circumstances, try to smooth things over. It's hard. It is very hard to overcome that, because as a woman especially, there's a lot of male people pleasing that I am expected to do to smooth over men's male sensibilities, that men want me to smooth over rough edges. It's hard. It's hard. And that I'm expected to fill in gaps in certain things, especially in dating and other things, that I'm expected that there's a certain amount of people pleasing involved with that, and like boundary pushing without asking that I'm supposed to fulfill as a woman, which is very difficult. That may not necessarily want to do. Such as like when to say yes to sex and when to say no to sex, and when to end the relationship and how to end a relationship, and when my boundaries have been pushed in a relationship, and when I get angry about stuff, having a fight and setting my boundaries in fights. Because a lot of men will gaslight me. Like, the last guy I dated was really mean. I got mad at a guy and he didn't talk to me for a few days, and then he came back and said, I'm not mad at you. And I said, I was mad at you. I was mad at you. You're not mad at me. I'm mad at you. But that's like kind of like I was supposed to like smooth over his edges. They wanted me to smooth over his edges. Yeah. Anyway, I'm getting very long-winded. So I have been trying to work on not people pleasing. It's very difficult. It's very difficult because society has expectations of me as a woman. The only people pleasing I want to do is for my family and for my cat. I want to make my family happy. I want to make my cat happy. I do not want to make men happy. They can suck it. Quite literally, they can suck eggs. Final thing. So I'm working on a couple guides. I was talking about this on Patreon. I was telling my friend Donnie about this too. I'm working on a couple guides. I'm not sure if I'm going to sell them or not, but I'm working on them maybe mostly for myself. I'm working on a weight loss guide of like how to like navigate weight loss if you are trying to be more conscientious about your weight loss journey and you're kind of stuck. Like if you've been on a weight loss journey and like you're kind of flogging and you're kind of just trying to be more mindful about your weight loss journey. So like kind of like a 60-day like jump start back into being more mindful again. And so like I'm creating a guide on how to plan up and set for resetting yourself back into being more mindful, and like how to journal about it, and like how to reflect upon your journey, and doing like self-care affirmations, and like doing like trying to like decenter technology as a way of like, and like trying to not like snack and like all of those things, and like working on like trying to decenter a lot of like being more it's like being more mindful, not being mindless eating, being more mindful about like how you're living and how you're eating, and reflecting upon things, and just living a better life all around, making lifestyle changes. I think that it's going to help me. But also I want to make a guide for bipolar on how to navigate ups and downs, and like the sorts of things that I've been doing to manage my bipolar. I want to work on that. And like the sorts of things that I do to navigate my disability, and like what I do to manage my triggers and all of those things. I want to work on a guide for that. So I was listening to a woman talking about how to make guides, and she was saying that I should use like ChatGPT, but like I don't like the idea of using ChatGPT. Maybe like for an outline of like how I want to do like stuff, but like writing the guides, I want to just write them myself because like I am so much smarter than ChatGPT. Like ChatGPT doesn't have like as interesting of a way of like writing things as I would, because I have a master's degree in creative writing. So I am going to write something much more interesting than anything ChatGPT is going to come up with. So I would rather come up with stuff myself than anything that ChatGPT could come up with. And I would rather come up with like journal prompts and things like that than anything. Like maybe like idea storming with ChatGPT, but like I would rather like come up with stuff myself than rather like maybe come up with like basic ideas of stuff, but I would rather expound upon anything that ChatGPT came up with because it's not going to come up with anything as interesting that I would. Because like it's not going to be as tailor-made to what I'm trying to do. And it's not going to be as focused or as interesting. So I just would rather write it myself. Because AI is a tool, it's not an end all. You know what I mean? So I'd rather just not use it completely. Like maybe as like a general idea of like where I want to go with it. And I've used a couple things with ChatGPT. I use Claude. I use Claude to give me a basic idea of like how I wanted to write this weight loss guide of like the basic setup for the 60-day guide. But like I am not quite sticking to it. I'm just kind of giving me like a basic idea of how I want the days to go. But like I'm setting up the routines myself and like how I want the days to plan out, and like I'm coming up with stuff and I'm like writing the days and like I'm doing all of the work when it comes to it. So it's not really doing all of the work. It's kind of just like giving me like a vague idea of what I want to do. Like giving me a vague weekly outline of like, maybe you could do this. And I'm like, like maybe a little bit I could. It's like drawing me like a rough sketch of what I might try to do. But like I'm changing a lot of, quite a bit with it. Maybe I'll do that with the bipolar guide. I haven't even started working on the bipolar guide. I have like maybe a table of contents with it, but like I haven't even started to work on that at all. I'm just working on the weight loss guide because I'm going to start that. I'm going to start using it tomorrow, and I'm really excited to use it because like I have like diagrams and tables and stuff like for measurements and things like that, and I'm like really excited to use it. You know? Anyway, so this is getting a little long. I gotta go. I got things to do. I got people to see things to do. I gotta see a man, I'm not a monkey. I gotta go. I hope you have a great rest of your night. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.